The 2011 Metropolitan Nashville Public Schools Teacher Externships are presented in partnership by the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce, with support from the Memorial Foundation. The Academies of Nashville in Metro Nashville Public Schools is the high school redesign strategy for all 12 zoned high schools, impacting 15,000 students and 1,000 teachers. In the Academies of Nashville, what used to be the one-size-fits-all comprehensive high school is broken down into smaller, more personalized learning communities around a team of teachers. Ninth grade students are part of a freshman academy where they get extra support and resources to ensure they have a successful high school career. These ninth grade students then choose to belong to an academy with a career or thematic focus for grades 10 through 12. The goal is to make sure all Metro Schools graduates are prepared for college and an eventual career. Reforming Nashville's high schools through the Academies of Nashville is being accomplished in three complex stages: reorganizing high schools, engaging Nashville's business community, and transforming teaching and learning. First, Metro's 12 zoned high schools needed to be reorganized into the academy model. Teams of teachers were assembled representing the core academic subjects such as math, English, science, and social studies, in addition to teachers specializing in that academy's career or thematic focus. Assistant principals and counselors were assigned to specific academies within each high school, so they could get to know the same group of students over a number of years. Once the high schools are reorganized, they are ready to sign up businesses as academy partners. Each academy partnership is unique. Business volunteers do everything from speak to students about their career to providing student internships or help develop curriculum. Nashville's business community has embraced the Academies of Nashville in a big way. As of July 2011, there were over 140 academy partnerships through the Pencil Foundation, with new business partners coming on board every week. The last phase, and the most difficult, is transforming teaching and learning. It's difficult because you're trying to change how 15,000 teachers in the 12 high schools interact with their students every day. In the academy model, learning is more hands-on, interdisciplinary, and project-based. Teachers must show students the real-world relevance of the academic standards. As students learn algebra in a health academy or history in a communications academy, teachers have to show how those subjects are applied in the real world. The problem is, most teachers have little experience in how academic standards are applied in hundreds of careers outside of education. That's where businesses, academy partners can play an essential role through teacher externships. Transforming teaching and learning is hard work, but done right, it's the area that will produce real academic success for students. So what is a teacher externship? It's a unique form of teacher training or professional development. The old model of preparing teachers is that someone went to school to learn to become a teacher, went straight into the classroom, closed the door, and taught their subject area. Occasionally, teachers received additional training from educational experts at a conference or a classroom. In a teacher externship in Nashville, the Academy team of teachers spends 3 days at a partner business, learning about the industry, the different types of careers available, and how their academic standards are applied every day in the workplace. On the fourth and final day of the externship, the team of teachers develop an interdisciplinary project based on their externship experience. Students will work on the project during the following school year, and in most cases, the business partner will continue to be involved with the students and teachers as the project is implemented in the classroom.
Teachers that have been at Deloitte here this week have been really excited. They started to see that. There's been a lot of revelations, and they're excited to go. You know, we still got a month before school starts, and I think they'd like to start tomorrow, which is, you know, maybe a difference from days past where people couldn't wait to get to summer and dreaded going back to school. But the teachers are excited, and then we want to make sure our students are excited, and I think they will be with the lessons that they're going to bring back.
In the summer of 2010, the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce, with support from the Memorial Foundation, sponsored 10 externships between academy teams and business partners. Some of Nashville's biggest names in business hosted teams of teachers that summer. In 2011, 10 new Academy teams experienced externships. Gaylord Entertainment and McGavick High School, Deloitte and Overton High School, Centerstone and Hunters Lane High School, Ford and Glencliff High School, Stantec at Overton High School, Deloitte at Antioch High School, NACC, McNeely Pig & Fox and the Parthenon at Hillwood High School, St. Thomas Hospital and Maplewood High School, United Neighborhood Health Services and McGavick High School, the U.S. Community Credit Union and McGavick High School. Additional externships were provided by Vanderbilt University, the Harry Medical College, MTSU, and Country Music Television. During their 3-day externship at Deloitte, the teachers in Overton High School's Academy of Information Technology learned that IT not only provides a great career for students after college, it can also be related back to all the academic subjects in their academy. The Overton High School teachers finished their externship at Deloitte energized and ready to teach their students in a new way. It was an incredibly powerful experience for these teachers and the other academy teams that participated in externships across the city.
I am Anna Bryant, and I teach Algebra 2 at Cambridge High School at the Academy of Health Management. This is actually my first year teaching, so having an experience like this with Metro was really, really awesome. We spent about 3 days at the Biomedical Informatics Center at Vanderbilt, and we learned basically about the processing, the research, the programs, the challenges that come with presenting health data to patients and businesses and just the general public. This was by far the best professional development I've had, mainly because it was I realized that Vanderbilt is a part of my community in Nashville, and it wasn't just my educational community and working with other teachers and administrators, but it was actually working with a business partner of my school and seeing how what I'm doing in the classroom can build my kids up to a point where they can go out and work with other people in our Nashville community. It's nice you get really lonely at school sometimes because you get so into your content material, and so to actually get to know better the biology teacher, the English teacher, the business teacher, and really realize the connections that go across our curriculum was so helpful and made me feel really more a part of my own school's community. We're already communicating, but this will push us to communicate not just from an administrative and discipline level, but on an educational and content level as well, and that's what I'm really excited about. I really only talk to other teachers in the school community for like discipline purposes, but now to actually be working with them as far as the educational component of what I'm doing is really awesome.
Well, it was exciting to get involved with Cane Ridge and to learn about what the Academy was going to do in health sciences. We were a very specific niche in health sciences in that we think a lot about the ways in which we can use computers and medical information to improve decision making. So for us to get involved in this was very exciting. Many of us are doctors who have a chance to bridge a lot of different fields, and so what the Academy represented was kind of how we live our life, how we actually bridge between computers and taking care of patients and teaching and research and all of the other things that we do. We've been working with them since, I guess, about a year, and over the time we've been working on both what we were going to do for this externship and what the larger goals would be for the next year. The project that they're working on is essentially, I'm going to get the title slightly wrong, but it's what is the shape of your health. And that project is essentially going to combine a graphical depiction of a health status along with education about different ways in which that health status can actually be improved. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to think about it. We're going to have a fun time being creative and working together to teach the kids a lot of different concepts. Another big part of the year is going to be a health fair, and we hope to participate in that through some blood pressure screenings, possibly through information, helping them to build brochures, helping to set up interviews with the Kennedy Center at Vanderbilt, and just all around trying to get them exposed to a lot of the different ways in which we think about health. The teachers at Cane Ridge were really interesting and a lot of fun. It's refreshing to have a chance to work with educators who think about that all day long. Most of us think about education almost in our spare time. So working with the teachers at Cane Ridge gave us a chance to really see how a curriculum is put together, how we should think about the different components of it, how do we engage kids with different levels of interest. And frankly, I learned a lot that I'm going to take back with me as I work on the courses we teach in our department.
I suspect that one of the learnings that's going to go bidirectionally with the teachers and with the employees of Deloitte is, you know, some of the aha moments are going to be not only the way we collaborate today, but also the way students learn today. You know, generations ago, classrooms ago, you sat and it was a very one-directional exchange of information. Today, kids don't learn that way. It's very much we need a hands-on, interactive way of learning, and I would say that the externship is also an example of that. You know, Deloitte is, as I said, very involved in community and supporting our schools. It's a nice thing to do. And I can tell you it's something we're very passionate as individuals about. Many of us obviously have kids in the school systems. But let's be honest, it's good for the bottom line. We are preparing our talent pipeline. These are the kids who are going to come to our businesses and be our future employees. It behooves us all to step up to that plate and do it because it's the right thing. Do it because it's passionate work for our people. So to me, it's a win-win. I can't imagine why any company in the Nashville area would say no to this opportunity. It just benefits us all.
The Academy's model has been around for about 5 years in MNPS, but it's really taken about year 2 at Overton. Last year the IT Academy had a combination of finance and IT, and then this upcoming year it's really going to take shape as a pure IT Academy, the only one in the district. So we got to understand what businesses are expecting out of our students. So to get the teachers here for 3 days, learn about all the current trends in an IT business, find out what skills the kids are going to need, and then be able to come back and show them directly, this is what the company's looking for. These are the skills that you're going to need. Well, we obviously couldn't do it without the business involvement. I mean, we could change the way our structure is and the way we teach, but we have to have that other piece, and that's our post-secondary education partners and our business partners. And the academies that are growing the quickest are the ones that have multiple partners. You know, if we want to send out 120 students, Deloitte is great, but they can't take 120 students at a time. But if we had 6 or 8 or 10 partners that say, hey, I'll take 2 students a year on a job shadow, just that one piece would change those students' lives. They would actually start to see how IT or how health or how engineering is actually being practiced. And it may be enough to keep that kid in school. It may be enough to get that kid on to college, and it could turn into a career.
Well, I guess what's really cool about this is, you know, working with the schools, like, and working with the community. It's you think, oh wow, why would you give your time to do that when you're busy doing this? But we always get it back. I know that when I was in school, I would have loved to have had this. When I was in college, my internships that I had, like, there's no way I could repay that. And this is the only way I can kind of repay that is by participating in something like this. You know, I learned to learn in high school, and even in college, I still was learning to learn. Where I really picked up valuable lessons was in my internships and in job shadowing. I did some job shadowing in high school even, and that's where you really you have no clue what it's like to be in the workforce until you actually see it in action. I think an aha moment for me was when I saw the English instructor and the video and multimedia instructor kind of talking about how ways they can work together, because we do that here. Okay, this is how we can get people who are, you know, have a knack for English to get involved with technology and creativity and multimedia, and how the multimedia people can glean on their expertise. And I saw that was a great aha moment, and I saw that happening, and I thought, that's it.
This is actually my first time doing an externship. I'm very excited, learning a lot about how to incorporate my expertise as an English teacher with technology. It's going to be great for interdisciplinary topics and projects. I will be working with the CTE teacher, and she teaches a multimedia class, and with the multimedia incorporated with the English, with the English classes, we can come up with all sorts of ideas and programs we can discuss with the social studies and the history department, the history of technology. In the science and the math classes, we can track data, we can look at the trends of cost in the economy. There's so many ways that we can bring this together in an interdisciplinary fashion, and I think the kids will really enjoy it.
One of the things I've noticed that we've provided since they've come over in the externship is we've been able to let them follow us through the building and see what our day-to-day life really looks like. And what I've really enjoyed watching the teachers observe is that we've given them all the variety and diversity that exists in this building. So they've seen all aspects of the business, and we're hoping that as they go back and build on their curriculum, they can see how that technology fits into English, and how technology fits into history, and how technology fits into all the other diverse disciplines that are part of their curriculum. I've learned that what we might take for granted moving around in this office, thinking that everybody knows how this works, might actually be something that the teachers have not yet learned about.
For 2 days this past week, we hosted 3 teachers from Hillsborough at Vanderbilt. They learned about a project called Voices from Our America. So it's a project that's going on in Latin America, in Panama, and that's where our center comes in, the Center for Latin American Studies. The 3 teachers who worked on this project are from social studies, Spanish, and English, and they are going to be implementing a project, and what this project is going to do is going to be a little bit modeled off the project of Voices from Our America, where they are going to conduct interviews. They're going to have the students study the interviews that were done in Panama, and using that, the students will develop a set of interview questions, and the students will conduct their own interviews within the Nashville community. These were fantastic teachers, all 3 of them, who were very dedicated to the idea of promoting education about other countries, specifically about Latin America, and bringing that home to Nashville.
My name is Adrian Behan. I teach AP World History and AP Human Geography at Hillsborough High School.
My name is Matthew Peach, and I teach 9th grade English 1 at Hillsborough High School.
Well, bringing in someone from the outside community, whether it is post-secondary or business, it's very refreshing for me to get somebody from that perspective, as far as not coming from the educational perspective, and bringing, and gaining what they bring to the table. I mean, being a teacher, it's all, in the summertime, we have these wonderful conversations and these wonderful plans about like what we plan to do, and then it seems like once, September comes around, we're just, gasping for air. And having this added support through these externships, that takes a lot of the logistical planning and out of the way, and so we can actually kind of partner with them to create some of these like meaningful learning experiences.
One of the challenges that we faced is that what's the relevance for somebody living in Nashville to care about Panama? And I like that they came at it from the same angle that we did, that we can just use that as a framework to understand our own place in the world. We can understand Nashville better by looking at Panama. And so there's actually very little content that comes from that, but we still learn a lot. We learn more from the Center for Latin American Studies in their methods. It's the methodology that we're learning and taking back to our own community, as opposed to just another way to look at the Panama Canal, which we will do, but it's not. But that's not the end in itself, or the end goal.
Stantec hosted a team of 5 teachers from Overton High School. We brought them in to help show them what a typical engineering firm does on their day-to-day business and show them what a typical project is and how we go through that project from very beginning. What Overton brought to us was that they want to help build an outdoor classroom, and that was one of the things that they want to do is they want to construct this classroom, so they've approached us as how can we help support them from the engineering aspects. And I think one of the great things about the externship program is we were able to open their eyes that there's more to this than just the engineering. We try to really show them a lot of the planning process and what goes on the upfront side, which is almost sometimes just as much as the engineering. One of the things that we're looking most forward to is the relationships we've built with these teachers, and me personally going back and working with each one of them and trying to provide that support, and then ultimately meeting the students and being involved with the students, and how Stantec can actually get in there and help work with each one of these students to show them all the different aspects behind a project. And like I said, I think the teachers, we've built a good relationship so far, not just myself, but the other employees at Stantec that were involved in the externship, and I think everyone's really excited about coming back. And I'd say if you have the opportunity to do an externship, I'd say I'd do it. It's a rewarding program for us. It was brand new. We definitely plan on doing it again next year, but it was eye-opening for us to understand how we can better impact what the teachers are bringing into the classroom to help them understand what's actually out there in the business world.
This is our second year of hosting teachers from McGavick. We felt it was really important to build on the momentum of last year and host a team again. I think what was great this year was we challenged our staff to do a hands-on activity with each of the teachers. So the project that they'll be doing is kind of building on a project that they started last year of a film festival. I think it's a very cool way of bringing to life the central theme of the essential question of the activity, which is how do the decisions you make today affect the future and play out in the future. And I think it's a great way to bring that to life for students in a very cool way.
The culminating end project is going to be a community health fair set up much like a street fair. It won't be located at Maplewood. It'll be out in the community. Something the students are going to organize. It's going to be built on all year long. They're going to create public service announcements, brochures, working with St. Thomas Marketing Department, getting their approval for things, going out in the neighborhood and surveying the neighborhood on what are the biggest health concerns and how does that align with the national health concerns. It was tremendous to see the teachers come in, see these lean processes. I think they took as much away from it for themselves as they did to bring back to their students, for themselves in the way they teach, for themselves in how to standardize processes to get better outcomes.
That was good. That was really good.
It was nice to see that we did just as much for them in their personal careers as we did for the students.
Our team, the Healthcare Academy, we have changed the way we're going to teach our students. We have really taken this project-based learning seriously because we see that we want our children to be prepared for the real world, well, for the workforce. And we want them to be able to be productive. And we say productive citizens, but I want to see what we saw at St. Thomas. I'd love to see them in the lab. I'd love to see them on the cardiology team and being able to be a viable part of a business. So I'm excited about that.
Hi, I'm Kim Hayes, Executive Director of the NACC Network. We operate channels 9, 10, and 19 in Nashville. And we had the opportunity to host an externship for Hillwood High School. We didn't really know what to expect going into it, and it was such an amazing experience. I think our staff benefited from it, and I think the teachers got so much out of it. We were able to bring in 2 other partners, business partners, for the 3 days, which included the Parthenon and McNeely, Pickett & Fox, a big PR firm in Nashville. And I think the mix of organizations just made the experience so much more powerful. Not only is being an academy partner and hosting an externship personally rewarding, our business has benefited from it, just in community outreach, the awareness in the community, and the excitement about what we do. We've been able to bring Hillwood seniors into the studio to get certified, and they're interested in producing their own TV shows. It's just really exciting to bring a whole new group of people into TV production.
We didn't even know what externships were until Kim called and invited us to participate with Arts Channel 9 and Neely Pickett and Fox with the Hillwood Academy, and it was a remarkable experience, enlightening and exciting, I think, for the teachers and certainly for us. I was thrilled to see how inquisitive and curious the teachers were. They were like sponges. Anything we could tell them both about the Parthenon itself and about the workings of a museum and how an exhibit is planned and put together seemed to be just soaked up. They immediately saw, and we saw how we could help them make even more connections between their subject matter and real-world applications, which I think is something desperately needed in schools, particularly when you're talking about the core subjects. So often, kids who aren't particularly for whom English and math don't come easily, or science, when you show them either how those subjects are connected and or how those subjects apply to some kind of career that they might really enjoy, it makes school so different. It makes it all seem worthwhile and logical. Oh, I totally would recommend an externship to any business that's considering it. I have not had a chance to talk to many of the businesses, and I think a lot in Nashville were involved in this, but the ones that I have spoken to felt the same, I think, as we did, that this is an opportunity for us to give back to the community in kind of an unexpected, surprising way, and totally enjoyable. It was a fun day for us, something that took us out of our ordinary routine, and I think took the teachers out of their ordinary routine, and those are the times when, especially when they're fun and not threatening, where some of the best learning takes place.
Be prepared to be changed by it, because it's a very positive experience, and it's one of the most challenging and gratifying things that I've been asked to do so far.